Hello, 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 hello. My name is Asherah, and welcome to my very unique PhD research channel where I'm investigating DID, dissociative identity disorder / psychosis with conscious expansion. Today is, or this evening I should say, it's Thursday the 29th of January 2026 and the time is 9:28 p.m. I went to bed early today because I've got a meeting at 10 o'clock and I'm still jet lagged a little bit from coming back from Peru. It's a week today that I got back. So I should be over it by now, but I can't lie, I'm tired. So I was getting some sleep, but I still had the TV playing YouTube. And every now and again, Spirit keeps waking me up out of my sleep because I keep hearing something being said on the TV that my higher self is in agreement with. She just wants to check in to make sure I'm on the same page too, that it's being said and talked about. But this one, they was just like, no, get it on record. So even though I'm a bit tired, I'm going to push through and do this recording because I've rewinded it back about 5 minutes, even though I was more than 5 minutes into it, to be fair. But like I said, I was sleeping. But I've rewinded it to 14:38. Okay, so let's see what this is saying.
They are not.
So it's called They Are all finished or done yet, but it's y'all. She's put Y''AL like everybody. They are everybody finished, or they are y'all finished or done yet. Still is a cold ass winter, and it's from Spiritual Court TV. She's ever so funny, and this was uploaded 2 hours ago. And I'm how many minutes in? 14:41. Nice number. I love butterfly numbers.
Where's my tambourine? I feel like I want to sing the song. Only God can do it. Only God can do it. Only God. Listen, what the hell? With the entire hell. So collective, overall energy, Ace of Cups, strength, 10 of Pentacles, focus, vitality, called your power back, 7 of Wands, the ancestors are supporting us. Okay? These people put in work. 7 of Pentacles, they went to work, they prepared days before the full moon, they were ready, they were doing it. The Fool in the reverse with the 10 of Swords in the reverse, and all they did was expose themselves. The 5 of Swords is somebody fighting a battle by themselves. There's nobody there fighting you. The people in the
Probably should explain a little bit of why I feel like what she's saying makes sense to me, because this is the Peru trip that I've just done, but it's also probably every other trip that I've done too, where there's been a mission and I've come out and I've survived and whatever else. And Peru was definitely one of those missions where I'd gone in. I always know when it's one of those kind of missions, I should say, because I know, like, it's like bringing down the establishment, you know. It's like it's been a part of my reality for so long, even before I knew what it was. I saw it and I used to think to myself, fucking hell, I've just joined this establishment and now it's crumbling down. What the fuck? Why do places always crumble down when I step into them? Do you know what I mean? So I used to look at it negatively, like I was a problem going in and into these establishments and then them crumbling. But I come to understand, no, actually that's my mission. That's why the Almighty's got me here for, because I go in there and I unleash the Almighty's hand, and that's why it comes crumbling down. Do you know what I mean? So I've seen it 100 times already in this reality, and I know that it is the case from alternative realities as well as lifetimes. So I accept that now. So when I've gone to Peru, I said I accepted it from the first day. I accepted it from how many months before, to be fair, but whatever. You know what I mean? But the earthly me is always having the earthly experience where they're almost hoping that it's not what it is. Even though it always is, you know. But there's a slight optimism, which is my inner child, which is necessary, because the reason why I 10-10 every mission is because I go into it with a very open, naive, childlike heart that mankind can be good and beautiful and saved and righteous and upright and steadfast. But they constantly prove to you time and time again that they're tombs for the walking dead. You know what I mean? Tombs for the walking dead. They allow themselves to be consumed by negative thoughts of jealousy and envy and all these 3D Masonic matrix material indulgences and get caught up in it. And the minute you get caught up in it, you're done for. Because it's all an illusion anyway. Got caught up in the illusion. But I get it because it isn't hard to stay. It isn't easy, I should say, to be upright. It isn't easy to always know what the right thing is and do it. You know, it's not easy to do the right thing all the time. It's not easy to go against the wrong thing all the time when the wrong thing is celebrated. The wrong thing is actually supported, it's bigged up, it's put on a pedestal. It's made to believe that doing the wrong thing is the right thing. It's fucked up. See, in a society, you live in a world which is back to front. Up is down, down is up, yes is no, no is yes. Good is bad, bad is good. You know? They want to be telling you that if a person has a sex change, then it automatically makes them the sex that they've been changed into. But how? When it's reconstruction, it doesn't change the genetic makeup of that person. The DNA code of that person would still qualify that person as male. So if you can't change the person's DNA to reflect the sex that you want it to reflect, then you haven't really made any change. You just corrected the outer vision, and that's what the illusion is, that the inner man is still a man. Genetically coding is still a man, whether or not he steps more in his feminine power or more in his masculine power. His insides, his DNA structure is male, unless they're qualified hermaphrodite. But yet still society would like to tell you that no, a man is a woman and a woman is a man, and want to educate from kindergarten upwards this new belief system, and it's stripping us away from truth. Because now you feel like you can't speak up and say what is right because you're going against someone's right to be identified as whatever they want to be identified, and that's fine. A person can be identified by whatever they want to be identified, but just like you can be identified with whatever you want to be identified, I too can identify with what I choose to identify with too. So just like you don't want me to impinge on your new belief system, I don't want you to impinge on my old belief system either. So it's just an agree to disagree situation, rather than being forced to agree to something that you disagree with wholeheartedly. It's like when COVID was happening, people actually had the audacity that had the injection to look down on everybody else that hadn't had the injection as if we were scum. Being looked down by people who had the COVID injection. And I'm thinking, well, who the fuck are you looking at like that? Do you even know what they've just given you, you jankro? You up there on your high horse, yeah, come tomorrow, you saying one will be on your fucking neck. You don't know what you're doing and you don't know what you're talking about, but yet still you stand in a position of righteousness. Fools. Now everybody's bawling on about the COVID infection. The COVID injection, sorry. Which the doctors and nurses was telling you from the beginning, the good ones were telling you from the beginning that this is some bullshit. You know what I mean? So it's not even like, say, people didn't know that these people was on some bullshit, because the professionals was telling us they was on some bullshit. It was obvious they was on some bullshit. But somewhere along the line, you get suckered in. And you start to believe a false lie. And then they make a false lie a truth. Next thing you know, you think it's the truth when in fact it's a lie. That's what I'm saying, some up, down, left, right business. My ancestor says to me, it's like the sweets we used to get you to eat when you was little. There used to be these chocolate sweets called vice versas. And the outside was brown and inside was white chocolate. And then when the outside was white, a crispy shell, the inside was chocolate. Vice versa. And that's what I've come to see everything as on this fucking earth, on this particular planet, in this reality. That it's upside down, straight up. It's upside down. And if you see it as being upside down, it works a whole lot better. You know what I mean? Because it is upside down. So anyway, this reading is breaking it down, I think, in a way where, and when I say it is, just from the snippets that I remember hearing as I was waking up to it. Oh, sorry, I apologise. Yeah, let's let her crack on.
Picture the depiction of tarot sorts is always somebody walking away from adversity. So why did you try to put a knife in our back? What's wrong with you? Never mind. We're gonna see here what's wrong with you. What's wrong with you is nobody's paying attention to you. Is this what this is about? The hangman in the reverse.
Basically.
And the star in the reverse. So you're here for popularity reasons. Somebody is in a popularity contest. The star in the reverse with the hangman in the reverse. Okay? This is somebody on the public platform, y'all, a dark spiritualist. Okay? They're not, I don't know what they're doing. They don't want to admit that you are that one. They don't.
This is, to me, this my instinct, and why I say I connect with it and why spirit woke me up to it is that this is my shamanic tutor. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Posing as light when she's dark. And I know that she's dark. She talks openly to me about the fact of her embracing her dark side too, which there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? She'll have conversations and tell you about her conversations with Lucifer and the underworld, and, you know, popping in on certain Masonic rituals and doing her part and, you know, freeing kids here or doing whatever. Like, she'll talk quite openly about her journey. And like I said, there's no judgment in that respect, because we are all light and dark. You know what I mean? Like, it's the love and light bullshit. We need to just be over all of that, because you have to be both. have to. No, it's true though, because you're masculine and feminine, and you're light and dark, you're man, you're female. You're both things. We are not just one thing. We are all things. If we are part of the all, then we're part of the all. Period. But she's been posing as a light worker, and she's not a light worker, man. Even with regards to some of the experiences of the other people on the course when they were sharing their experience with me, because people tend to feel comfortable with me and they tell me a lot of their ish and secrets and everything, and I'm like, that's cool. At the end of the day, I get it. So I'm like, you know, if you have a conversation with me, you have a conversation with me. But I always know that conversation will come back up at the right time with the right people present, and it did. And it wasn't done in any way, and I didn't mention that me and my girl had a conversation prior, because it weren't really about that. It was just understanding that I can hear that this particular woman has got certain qualities, I'm going to say, what would be deemed to be on the autistic spectrum. And because of my profession and the work that I do with special educational needs as a SEND coordinator and a SEND head teacher, I know when I'm looking at something, because I've been fine-tuned into it, because it's beautiful. Autism and special educational needs and everything else on the spectrum is so spiritually profound and beautiful. You know what I mean? I say all the time that really we need to be looking at our children that are getting on at school, because we know the education system is rigged. You know what I mean? So therefore, if children are able to cope in those extreme environments, because half the staff can't cope, most of the staff are going off with mental health issues, depression, anxiety, because of trying to keep up with the education system, curriculum. Do you know what I mean? So if the kids are surviving, we need to check out those kids that are surviving, because they're definitely special. You know what I mean? And I mean that gracefully, and like I said, I've got years of experience, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about, you know. And yeah, just looking at this lady, I could see that. So I says to her, you know, can I ask a question? Do you think that you could be slightly on the spectrum? And she said, you know what, I've always thought it, but I've never actually looked into it. I said, because if I was, not that I'm not qualified to do an assessment on anybody, but obviously as a Senko and a head teacher, and you know, been a head teacher of many schools, but particularly my first school was a special educational needs one, which I had to go for material change with Ofsted, and was successful to change it into a SEND school in the first place, and then obviously win contracts from the local authority to have students, particularly students with educational healthcare plans. Plus, I was one of the first head teachers to be involved in the creation of the educational healthcare plan. So I've been involved in the educational special side of needs and disabilities for a while. So I was, you know, I know what I'm looking at. I've looked at it many times. I've worked with many families, many schools, many teachers, many Senkos, etc. And you pick up on these things, especially working with external professionals too, like the CAT team and SALT team and education therapists. You're constantly talking and you're constantly working and supporting children like this. So when she said, yeah, I said, okay, I get it now. And I was like, you know what, differently stays. When you're saying what you're saying, this is how this lady's interpreting it. Because the way that she thinks is like this. So the lady's able to say, that's exactly how I saw it, Asherah. That's exactly how I saw it. So I said, but therefore then, when Stacey says this to you, then you need to compartmentalize and put these bits into different categories, and then sit down with it with yourself, and then determine which one of those you're gonna go with. Because just because something is being said, it doesn't mean it's literal in every single case. So you've got to be able to dissect it into categories to make it make sense to you and your case, as opposed to taking somebody else's story and then making it a literal stance in your story, which is obviously going to confuse you because you don't have any solid foundation. You know what I mean? So we was able to kind of talk about it and laugh about it. And Stace was like, how am I supposed to know that? I'm not trained in special educational needs. Like, how would I even know? You know what I mean? And I said that's the thing about the communication and where we are today as a society. That communication is a funny thing, you know. It only happens if both sides are on the same page and have actually understood what's going on. Otherwise, it wasn't communication at all. And I think in a lot of times we're talking, but we're not really communicating. There's words flying out of our mouths and nobody's actually hearing what each other are saying. Or maybe some people are just not saying whatever it is. Because I thought that I explained myself to my shamanic teacher. See, I thought I explained myself. But now I'm wondering, I'm not wondering whether or not I did, because I did. But when I share certain things, people think that I'm going on a bit, or I'm a bit, she's a bit full of herself, she is. And that's definitely not, because I'm definitely playing it down. You know what I mean? I'm definitely playing it down. I don't know. It was just a weird one in Peru. And she acted like a dark witch, which I knew she was anyway. Well, so what is it that I was saying? Because if you knew, you know. And I did know, but you know what it is? It's the fact that she still tried it. It's the fact that she still tried whatever she thought she could try. And then be upset about trying and losing. Like, I hate a sore loser. I hate a sore loser. Maybe that's what I'm feeling. That her energy of a sore loser. I'm just thinking, you thought something and you was wrong. You made assumptions based on no actual facts, and you got egg on your face. And instead of apologizing, she ain't contacted me or nothing. You know what I mean? And bearing in mind, she's the tutor, you know. So automatically she's in a position of accountability and responsibility because you're the tutor. You know, I'm the student. And again, she hasn't had a formal education career. So she doesn't know the etiquette, perhaps, in the student and teacher relationship. I don't know, but her behavior is weird to me. You know, if you come to somebody on a course and you say to them a couple of things, like, one, I don't know who your ancestors are. You're working at a much higher level than I'm used to working with. You need to find some people that can really kind of understand your connection, your ancestors and the deities that you're working with, because, you know, I spoke to them tonight during the second ayahuasca, and they're a big deal. She said, first of all, I want to say thank you for allowing me to see what I didn't see before, because I'll be honest with you, before I thought that you were evil. And I'm thinking to myself, well, considering we've been working together for months, at what point was you going to let me know that you thought I was evil? Like, I knew that's what you thought, but you never once said it out loud. Do you know what I mean? So what was that about? Like, I just prefer honesty. But then I'm not being 100% honest either, because I'm not talking what I know, to be fair. But that's because nobody gave me a message. You know what I'm saying? If Spirit tells me to give the person a message, I will share the information. But if Spirit don't give me a message, then I will just observe the behavior and hold on to the information and just watch it become true. So I did a video in July 2025 saying what this relationship was going to be all about, and you know, I'm not really doing it to learn a shamanic training course from Stacey. I'll be teaching Stacey, but it's whether or not Stacey's in a position to accept that, or whether or not her ego will override that. And that's what this whole thing was to see. And what Stacey proved is that her ego would override the will or the good of humanity. Do you know what I mean? For the good of humanity, she can't put the ego to one side. She's in competition, competing where you don't compare. And really, it's not about that. And it's because of her experiences. Her experiences have been beautiful and wonderful experiences, and have shown her so much and made her believe so much. And she's been referred to as mommy and mama bear. You know what I mean? So she really believed that she was going to be that person, or the main, you know, part of the main crew, because she's so up there with the galactic universe and the galactic celestial world and whatever, that she thought that she was going to be bringing in the new world. And there's many people that are responsible for bringing in the new world. We're all responsible for bringing in the new world. Do you know what I mean? But whoever she thought she was, it's like she's come to understand I am. And she's had a problem with that, or at least she's projected, and her behavior has come across as if she's had a problem with that, because otherwise, what is your problem? What is your problem? Why are you saying to me that I'm dangerous? Why are you saying to me that I'm disrespectful because I came in and took over the 2 ayahuasca ceremonies? The only reason why my ancestors are going to take over a ceremony is if they feel it's necessary. You know what I mean? And obviously you're going on with things, because I could feel that you was going on with things. Do you know what I mean? But I just think it's so funny when people go on with things. When you send in black magic, or you send in negative thoughts, or you're having negative thoughts about me, like, I literally can hear your thoughts. So I do know what you think of me. And I just stand there smiling, saying it, acting like a right dickhead. Because what else is there to do? Do you know what I mean? What's the point of me saying to you that I know, that I just heard you for? Like, I can literally, even if I don't see it, I can feel the shift in your energy. I'm receiving intelligence from so many different areas and angles and dimensions and realities and movements and NLP and CBT and all the rest of it. It's all going on. Because I've had lots of different training in lots of different areas, innit? So I pick up on all these things. Plus I've got like spiritual training, so that gives me another angle. Plus professional training, so that gives me a different angle. Plus being a mom, that gives you a different angle. Plus being a wife, that gives you... Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, all of these different experiences in life equipped you with different skills. you know, and a lot of these skills are transferable and can be used in the spiritual realm, the 4D realm, and the 3D realm, if you know how to use them. And that's the thing about spirit. As you start to level up, they show you just exactly what you can do with your skills, you know, and how you can use your 5D skills in the 3D realm and vice versa. So yeah, my girl she's gone on a little bit funny. And now she doesn't know how to approach me. But I'm not going to be the one to approach her, because what happened and was meant to happen. There ain't really much to say about it. You know what I mean? And if you have acted dishonorable, then the spirits and the galactic organization, everybody else will hold you to account, because that's just what it is. I know that I didn't act dishonorable. I know that I didn't say anything out of line. I didn't go there and offend anybody. I didn't go there and make anybody cry. You know what I mean? I did what my ancestors told me to do. I did what the divine says to do. And I came home. And that's why I know that I'm good. Because the mission is to not be dishonorable. You know what I mean? Don't do anything to disgrace yourself. Always act with grace and honor. And that's why I do my best to make sure that I do. So let's put this on.
I want to see you in the light that you see yourself in. I always say, if somebody has a problem with you, that's their problem. That's a personal issue. That has nothing to do with how you see yourself. Because overall collective energy is Ace of Cups, Strength, 10 of Pentacles, and a 7 of Wands, surrendering things to the universe, trusting in the divine ancestors, and knowing that you are the new ancestors. Like, why do people think that we're here to be something other than that?
There you go.
You are the new ancestors, so move accordingly.
There you go.
Let there be no more karmic debt.
See what I'm saying? They are the new ancestors. This is what they're vexed about. Because I'm saying to Stacey from June, July, that I've been initiated by a snake. And then I get to Peru and find out that Grandma Ayahuasca is represented as a snake. And I'm saying, how come you never mentioned nothing about it being linked to a snake when I'm telling you about a snake? She's on about, oh, she don't think my snake's got anything to do with ayahuasca. But how can it not have anything to do with ayahuasca? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, so she said, oh, well, when you go into ceremony tonight, the second ceremony, ask Grandma, innit? So before I even went into ceremony, they had me up dressed as a snake in a green outfit and everything, you know, which I'd packed from the UK, but my ancestors obviously knew what was going on, so they packed ahead. And she saw me in the snake outfit. She didn't mention anything. She just said, oh, you look nice. The next day, she mentioned about me looking like a snake. You know, but I'd already mentioned that Grandma had come through. And ayahuasca had told me that I am ayahuasca. I am the grandma. When I pass, I will be the grandma supporting other people on their journey as ayahuasca. I am ayahuasca and ayahuasca is me. Grandma is in me. And my DNA codes are the same codes as ayahuasca. That's why the ayahuasca had no effect on me. They said even if you take 125, even if you take 250, there won't be any change on you. So it don't make sense to take it. And then they just started showing me 4 hours of visions in the windows of what it's done, why it does it, who is ayahuasca, the avocado snake, yellow at the bottom, green at the top. And what was so funny is that as soon as we come out of the second ayahuasca, Jim came over and sat in between me and Marco and started talking about this yellow snake. Yellow on the belly and green on the top. And I said, oh, I just saw that. That's the ayahuasca snake, the avocado snake. And Jim said, well, I don't know it by that name, if that's what you call it. But and then he carried on with some story. But the way he kind of dismissed the avocado name, it made me just turn my body into the middle, because Spirit told me not to worry about him. You know what I mean? Ego always has him at first, but then he goes away and thinks about it, and then he reaches his senses, if you like. And it's true. But there's a lot about him that I saw in me and a lot of me in him. And that's why there were times when he rubbed me up, or times when I rubbed him up, and my ancestors was like, yeah. When you see yourself in somebody, it does rub you up. But you have to be open enough to know that's what's going on. Not, I just don't like him. Nah. That's immature. That's immature. You gotta find out why you don't like him. Why is it everything that fucking person does irritates you? Because more than often, it's because they're fucking reflecting yourself back at yourself, but usually it's your hidden self. So sometimes you don't even know that's how you go on, or how you're perceived to be going on. You know, could be either or either. But anyway, let's let's still play this.
Clarify what's going on, spirit. Child, somebody is in the Nine of Swords, mentally unhinged, going crazy. I don't recommend that people who have mental issues, when I mean mental illness, I mean something in your life has put you in a state where it has made you mentally unwell. Everybody could surrender to mental illness. You either are well or you're not. You either committed to wellness or you're not. But I don't recommend that people with mental illness do spiritual work.
So let's discuss that. I agree with that. I do. I really do agree with that, because this spiritual stuff is not it's not simple. And if your mind is not strong, your mind can be taken over. 100%. Your mind can be taken over. I've been in my yard and had entities trying to take over my blood clot mind. And it's only Tuesday. My mind is sharp like a blood clot stud. You know what I mean? I'm here to tell the tale. This, because when I went to Africa earlier on in 2025, I interviewed them, you know, like on my channels, these channels, you'll see that I'm interviewing these African voodoo men. And they're telling you, when they send a spirit, when they send a ghost to somebody, they're sending it on the 4th day, as in the mental plane. And they're getting these ghosts, these entities, to whisper in your ear and talk to you like it's you. You think it's you talking to you when actually it's them. And I knew that's what was going on, you know. That's why I went to Africa, to find out what the fuck is this? Because I know what I'm feeling. I know what I'm sensing. I know what I'm getting. Because I have to check every fucking thought. Who are you? And who sent you? Every blood clot person that comes into my life. Who are you? And who fucking sent you? Because it's a fucking minefield down here. In the mental, in the spiritual, and in the 3D, it's a fucking minefield. Everybody has to get blood clot checked, mate. It's just a given. So when my girl's talking what she's talking right now, I'm like, yeah, it is true that your mental does have to be on point, because if it's not, your thoughts can be, you can be tricked into believing that certain thoughts are your thoughts, and next thing you know, you're doing shit that you would never have expected yourself to do, or you're thinking in a way that you would never be thinking about normally. But you got these entities fucking thinking and talking for you on your behalf. And because you're not mentally strong like that, you can get carried away in it, which is what's happening to 99% of the planet, to be fair. They think it's their own faults. They think they've got a sex addiction. No, you've got a demonic entity attached to you that enjoys feeding off the energy of sex. If you get rid of the attachment, you get rid of the addiction. Oh, you've got a chronic illness, disease. No, you've got an entity feeding off that particular element of you, which usually comes from an emotional pain, like, I don't know, sadness, grief, fucking abandonment, them kind of negative energies that we feel because we've been programmed by the matrix to experience that, you know, absent fathers, abandonment, fucking jealous mothers, you know, fucking narcissistic partners, fucking rape, you name it, child abuse on all different levels. We're programmed by the program to experience these things so that we can have attachment issues, so we can have these negative vibrations based on our experiences running through our body, because they make us perfectly aligned and acceptable to these fucking entities walking around on this plane, in the 4D, in the astral plane. And the astral plane alone has many dimensions to it. You know what I mean? So some on the astral plane might consider ghosts. Then you got duppies, you got omnibuses, succubuses, you've got fucking dark demon deities, you got extraterrestrial, you got certain greys. All these operate on the within the 4D, as well as us too, because we have a spiritual body that can also astral project in the 4D and walk around too. You know what I mean? So it's like levels. You can walk around in the 3D, walk around in the 4D, walk around in the 5D. Obviously, there's other dimensions too, but It's just very, very easy to just consider those 3 dimensions because it's easier to break it down rather than going all the way up to like the 24th dimension and beyond. Because again, even on, well, I won't probably talk about that now because it's not relevant to this particular topic. So let's press play again.
The capacity that you're attacking us in. All out of your shadow, trying to see what's in somebody else's shadow, trying to find dirt on somebody. And when you looked up, the collective was in the 10 of Pentacles, Strength, the Ace of Cups, and the 7 of Wands. Who is this dark spiritualist in the public eye? Hollering soul tribe. Oh, I just heard soul tribe and the whole tribe. The soul train and the whole train. Okay. Whole tribe.
I was going to say, she's got this song at it.
You hoes tried.
It's not usually these words though, is it?
Now you gotta get laid out. The star in the reverse.
That's what woke me up, you know. That
Clarify
song when she started singing
what
woke
these
me up.
scriptures in the reverse? The dark magician, Gemini energy. Doesn't have to be a Gemini, but somebody's mentally unstable. Something that they did, some type of forbidden magic. Somebody went too far. Somebody can't go further than the 5th dimension.
What was
Something
just
like that. They couldn't go further than the 5th dimension, and they're mad because you've seen dimensions and realms that they haven't.
Exactly.
So somebody had a point to prove. Somebody was like, you ain't all that. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not the Hierophant.
You see.
Only to find out that no, you're the Ace of Cups. You were sent by the Creator.
You see.
You gave birth to everything in creation. I don't know why people don't believe that there are people here reincarnated into this world for very specific reasons who created a lot of this.
Right.
So when you see somebody extend mercy, grace, temperance, balance, and they're patient, it's because they know that they've come to clear this stuff out.
Right.
We have no choice but to be in the 3D. We're here. Hey, how you doing? But to ascend means seeing something from a higher perspective, meaning looking down on the 3D and seeing things from all 4 angles,
right,
all 4 elements, so that you can come to a proper decision and make a conscious, wise choice.
Exactly. Fucking exactly.
About what to do in situations like this. Somebody was basically, this was like a desperate attempt. I can't even say, I don't know what these people did prior to this full moon, and we could pull back the layers, but who the hell's interested? I don't give a damn. That's too easy. Let's talk about this recent attack on the spiritual community and the Hierophant that's in the public eye.
Right.
Ace of Cups, Strength, and the 10 of Pentacles. So you knew that this is what we had coming in. You know that this is where we're at. And you said, we're desperate. 2 of Cups in a reverse. You're not a friend of the spiritual community, but you're still watching the Page of Swords with the devil obsessively. You don't never miss a beat. You don't never skip a beat. You don't never miss what people are doing in the spiritual community who are really here to help people. 7 of Pentacles, and you're heavily invested. And you feel as though it's your duty to prove that they are unjust or to go into their shadows. Why are you so preoccupied with people's shadows when the people whose shadows you're going into are in the Ace of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles? Like, we're not even that concerned about the past. Like, these people are. Because really, the past is an illusion. All we have is right now.
The present.
So when you hear people say this could be the past, the present, or the future, well, you're going to have to choose a struggle. If time is an illusion, then all we got is right now. And as long as you're doing everything that you need to do right now in this moment, then how could that be wrong?
Yeah.
If that's the case, then people will be bound to things from their past forever. Injustice, it's a loop. These are illusionists. These are people that want to dominate people. They want to control people. They want to be praised. They want to be worshipped. They want, like, no, don't do that. Even as a teacher, you got to be mindful.
Exactly.
You know, you're going to get a lot of people saying, oh, my God, thank you. You helped me a lot.
Don't let it go to your head.
Honestly, all
you're
I
there
was
to facilitate.
Was an example of what I had gone through and how I had mastered certain things.
Not bow down to me.
You picked up on it and you took it and you made it your own, and really you did all the work. You should really be thanking yourself. 100%. Every morning you get up, I'd really like to thank myself for showing up for myself if nobody else does. And so I feel it's the flip side. Like somebody wants to be praised for the knowledge that they have. The thing about that is dangerous because the knowledge that you have is your knowledge. It's what you've attained. What you decide to share in this Ace of Cups, the overflow, is a conscious, intuitive, discerning decision to share with other people. You can't share everything with everybody. Somebody is out here wanting to be seen for the wrong reasons. That's not the star's energy. But be that as it may, I feel like this person is serving a purpose. So for educational purposes, let's dig into it.
Okay.
Clarify.
She's saying that they're serving what that purpose is. Does that make sense? Because I do get that. Obviously, it's for a purpose. Every mission I come across, every person I meet is for a purpose. You know, I 100% accept that. There's no denying that. And that's the beautiful thing about it. That's why I'm not upset and I don't feel like I carry animosity about any of the lessons that I have to go down and the people that I meet and sometimes or often lose along the way, because it is what it is. You know, it is what it is, man. It's always going to be what it is. Oh, she's back on.
Four of Pentacles, these are people that are harvesting. So they've moved on to a new group of people, but they definitely came for some high vibrational hierophants. They definitely came and shot their best shot for that 10 of Pentacles, Ace of Cups.
You see?
Clarify?
Shot their best shot, man.
They desperately need energy.
But you can't get none from me. I'm not giving
Oh,
none
yeah,
out.
we'll turn that one over in 2007. Maybe 2008. But the Grim Reaper has come to collect. So y'all did death magic. Oh, whoa, you went in hard. Okay, so I get it. Yeah, I would be freaking out too. I would be at a 9 of Swords too if I knew I had graveyard dirt up under my nails. And now you got a death spirit looming around that you're trying to forget about, but you don't believe in the past, the present, and the future. But you're reading the cards for everybody else, like the past, the present, and the future, but you don't want to talk about what you just did yesterday at the graveyard. The Magician's in the reverse. This is a manipulator. Death. Scorpio energy, Gemini energy. Yeah, these people are crazy. The Fool in the reverse. Look, this is a desperate attempt. It's like waging war, and nobody's here for that. It's like somebody digging in your Akashic records, like, tell me who you are, bitch. I know you. And you keep coming up as the Ace of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. Like I told you, I'm judgment.
Judgment.
Okay, bitch. I'm going back to my altar. I'm going to get this. I'm going to go to the graveyard and I'm going to pull this out of my book of shadows and my woo-wop shop and my this and my that. And you ended up doing what? Not proving a point. This is somebody could actually talk like that. Like very, bitch, and clock it. Okay, bitch, shut the fuck up. Don't cross no enemy lines if you don't want to get
bombed up blood.
Because it seems as though you got stuff all the motherfucking way.
Fucked up.
With the 9 of Swords and the Star in the reverse, but you've been exposed.
Exposed.
The Hangman in the reverse is a stubborn individual. It's giving me somebody's Taurus energy is stubborn. I just don't want to see that this person is the Ace of Cups.
I am who I am, motherfucker. Are you a worthy contender? Hell fucking no.
You manifested death for
Hell
yourself.
no.
So prepare your burial.
No, definitely not a worthy contender.
That's what my spirit guide said. I'm just here to channel the energy. Hey. Anything else, spirit? Yeah, the 4 of Wands in the reverse. It's like some type of dark, secret, spiritual group. You know what's so crazy is there's like the spiritual community, and then there's like the dark web, the dark spiritualists. These are the ones that do rituals in the public eye and weird stuff and talk about other people, and then they involve other people. When you click onto those lives, y'all, let me tell you something. Your eyes are a gateway. Your ears are a gateway. When you take that stuff into your physical body, your spiritual, and you see somebody being negative and I just heard bearing false witness. Okay,
bearing
so
false witness.
In order to make their magic
bearing
work,
false witness.
But you have definitely
fucking sinful.
Some chaos here that it appears as though
bearing false witness, you know.
But when you do that, you're guilty by association. You gotta be careful who you allow to speak into your soul.
Right.
Who you open yourself up.
You have to question. You have to be brave enough to question and stand up for truth and righteousness. Because if you don't, you're guilty by association. Because you bared false
This is how it
witness
turns out for
and
you.
you spoke false things.
You can engage with somebody on a spiritual level, and it could literally mess your whole life up. Just by having a conversation. You don't know how protected some people are. Some people are protected from gossip.
It's true.
So while somebody could be somewhere slandering you and doing a live and they're projecting energy, they're like, yeah, the bitch went through this and went through that. It's like somebody digging in your trash. Like, bitch, I'm not obligated to be the same person. Can I mind my business and change and get to this 10 of Pentacles? That's a rhetorical question. You don't have to ask permission.
No.
Some of these people are just insecure. You really get up under their skin. You trigger them. But instead of being triggered in the right way and looking at themselves, they keep wanting to come for you and what you got.
Because
so
it's something being reflected at them. But instead of saying, hang on a minute, what is it that I'm seeing in her that is in me? Just do the opposite.
Black magic is real. They looking for those. Because they tried to come up against the Hierophants and they didn't know what the hell to do.
I know. You're fighting against
easy,
God,
they
blood.
said.
Don't be
This will
silly.
be easy. I've unalived plenty of people. It'll be easy. So whoever these two peas in the pod are, okay? 2 of Cups is 2 witches. 8 of Wands, they could be communicating with each other right now. Or they need your energy to go live. They need your energy to do their readings. They need your energy.
You got no energy back. You're cut off, blood.
We'll flip these over in
Cut off,
2027,
starving,
maybe 2028, or maybe 2030.
hungry, hungry belly.
The 7 of Cups, yeah, casting illusion. Somebody's trying to use somebody else's energy in order to cast a spell. Your words are powerful.
Belly.
What you say matters. This is why before we open the reading, I always ask for truth and clarity. And I will speak the truth to not influence the reading in a way that is to my benefit or a selfish motive, right? And if it is, let it be exposed. Queen of Swords and the 3 of Wands. Look, I can't make it up. Speaking the truth. The Queen of Swords in the upright is somebody who speaks the truth. The 3 of Wands is somebody that knows the outcome. Somebody's trying to change the outcome. So they're working on a new group of people. Show me these innocent people that y'all working on. It's going to backfire on you. It's going to backfire. I can't make it up. Strength in the reverse. Somebody said, okay, we can't touch her. We can't touch her over at, this platform or him or this and that because that already backfired real bad. Strength in the reverse. And the Tower. This is the new people. Because this is the thing, y'all. When the collective ascends, you affect other people's ascension.
Guaranteed.
You holding a high frequency encourages other people to pick up on that frequency.
That's it.
So anybody at that dense, chaotic frequency, they end up staying stuck in that realm. There's nobody there to attack. So where exactly is the energy going to go? Even innocent people that are new to their path, if they come across a very high vibrational person,
they get to
somebody
level up.
that
it's like snakes and
has an understanding of spiritual warfare within and then without, meaning you've conquered your enemies within. So the ones on the external
are nothing.
Are usually really easy to extinguish.
There you go.
You then become an example of how doing the right thing and playing by the rules can benefit you in your spiritual walk.
100%. Righteousness.
These are people that are looking for people to collaborate with them.
Strength in numbers, but it's not true.
So that they can sign up for their karma.
With the Almighty.
Misery loves company. Crabs in a barrel.
There you go.
So they're looking for the innocent people. Innocent ones.
To
but your innocence is really your best protection. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
Trust
you know how
me.
many times I was in the presence of people
gossiping about people. You can't get involved with the gossip.
I had a good time with them, like they were my friends, or so I thought. I was
chatting
their
about
friend,
it behind your back.
They weren't my friends, and they were doing spell work, death spells, all kinds of stuff, right? And then every time I would talk to this friend, somebody had died in their family. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm thinking. And as I ascended, I'm like, this is like a curse on this person's bloodline. Ain't no way all these people passing away. Well, sure enough, My naivete was a beautiful protection. I was so
100%.
innocent and so naive.
Told you.
Because I'm like, this is my friend. I'm on my spiritual journey. I'm minding my business. I'm not bothering nobody. I'm meditating. I'm learning. I'm reading. I'm this. I'm that. You know. And people kept passing away in her family. And every time she would call me and she would say, I need you to pray for me. And so I would pray for her every time. Because I'm just starting out. I got my altar. I'm like, cool. I got my altar set up. I'm wearing my all white. I wore all white for like, 5 years, okay? Like all white. That's so funny. That was fun. But nevertheless, I'm praying. I'm like, cool. I'm going to pray for her. So I'm praying and I'm like, ooh, my candles are powerful. Because my intention was that to protect my friend and pray for her and her family. I'm like, God, help them. Somebody, she just lost her brother. She just lost her. I mean, people were dying back to back to back to back. I said, girl, you stay at funerals. Well, I didn't know that the spell work she was sending me was hitting people in her family. And then it hit her. And I remember ascending and I said, shaman energy.
Mm-hmm.
She kept saying, yeah, your prayers are powerful. You know, pray for me. So I'm like, okay. The moment I realized that she was sending me death is when her candle for health turned black. And I was like, is somebody sending her negative energy? That's the first thing I said. Like, nah, okay. I'm like, okay. Am I in a clear energy? I'm in a clear energy. Like, I was so, I was a bit of a perfectionist when it came to spirituality. In a sense that my intentions were to protect somebody. And if I said that candle was going to protect, it's going to protect. I was like that. Like, no, this is how you do it. This is wrong what you're doing to this person. This person is going to be protected. So when her candle turned black, I checked my intentions. I sat with it for a couple of days. I cleansed my energy. Like, okay, what is going on? Is somebody sending me something? And then she ended up in the hospital. And they had given her some mysterious diagnosis that she didn't even know what it was. And this was somebody that I laughed with, had a good time with. Oh, you couldn't tell me this was not my friend. Oh, she was a whole dark demon in my doggone midst. Didn't even know I was protecting a demon. Yeah, true story.
Been there.
Shout out to the people that do truth serums, man. Those are my best rituals. I love the truth. Yeah, let's bring it out. Let's see what's going on. I love a good truth spell. I love a good, you're going to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God.
See,
because the truth is applicable to everybody involved, not just the person who is doing the truth spell.
As long as I'm there, that's what's
you feel
expected.
like everybody else going to tell their
Wonder
truth, but you
Woman
can't
just
tell
pull
your
out
truth?
the truth, yeah.
Or you don't want to admit the fact that you
There's
behind
no
the scenes
ritual or
doing
spell.
something dirty. I'm telling you, I'm here to tell you, it'll always backfire, y'all. Don't let nobody pull you into this karmic stuff. I came across something in the night. It just came up on my timeline. And there was this, God bless her, this bruja doing binding spells in the witching hour, showing the word. She's like, okay, so your binding spell is done. He's going to be sick and he's going to be this and he's going to be that. And I'm like, wait a minute. What exactly did he do? Did he do something? And if he did something, why can't you just show this person how to alchemize? But see, then again, I would be coming off judgmental. We listen. Yeah, we don't judge, but we call down judgment from the higher spaces, from the ascended masters, from the creator of all things, the God above all the gods, all these gods people serving and worshiping. You're supposed to pay homage to the Orisha. You're not supposed to worship the Orisha. Okay, that's a whole other story. That's a whole other download. I'll be back with more readings, y'all. I gotta go eat. It's nice and rainy here. Okay, so we're gonna be getting a little cozy in spiritual court. Wherever you are, I hope that you are keeping yourself warm and safe. I hope that you're still maintaining your peace and your diet. I love y'all, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then.
She likes to get a little carried away at the end still. But the point of her reading is just to kind of highlight that, one, people love to throw rocks and hide their hands. Two, they're constantly underestimating what this fucking thing is really about. Three, the mission is real. Yeah. Four, I would say that they basically confirmed everything that I knew to be true already. You know what I mean? So I'm very much looking forward to the next stage of everything, which is crazy. But yeah, imagine being told by a 4th generation shaman that you took over his ceremony twice. And that you're powerful and dangerous. Dangerous! Dubs. Anyway, I'm getting the fuck out of here because I'm tired. But yeah, long thing.